Hey guys, Rex here, and today I've got something pretty special for you, and that is my new resource pack download. Well, it's not actually new, I shouldn't say new. I've had it for quite a while, but I've had quite a few people ask for my resource pack because they've noticed that the XP bar in my videos is blue, and they've been wondering how I did that. So, the answer is with a resource pack, and so in this video I'm going to be going over all of the things that I've changed in the resource pack. It's basically just a modified version of the default pack, and then in the description there will be a download, so you can check down there for the download, and all you have to do is stick it in your resource pack folder and you should be good. So let's get started. First of all, as you can see, the glass has been changed, right? So I've just taken out the pixels in the middle of the glass here. The glass pane uses the same texture actually, so it's gone in there too. And then I've done it with the stained glass, and you can see that the edge is solid on this one, which is actually part of the texture. I've just once again removed the pixels in the middle, done it with all 16 colors, so it looks a lot smoother. And so that's the glass. Next thing here is the XP orb. Now, I'm going to summon one in here, and they like to derp around, as you can see. They like to derp around, but you can see that it's a little more bluish than it was before. You can see sometimes it flashes blue. And so let's get rid of this guy. Come on. There we go. And we can see if I step on this pressure plate that my XP bar is blue. So you can see when it's the darker part is sort of purplish actually, and then the lighter part where you actually have the XP is blue. And I like that better than the green. I don't know why, I just like blue better, even though the number is still green, which is annoying. It doesn't actually look too bad in my opinion with the green number. So let's move on here. In my inventory you can see that I still have my drama skin on actually, and I've added my logo behind here, which sort of looks a bit crappy at playing at this resolution, but the way I've done that is I've actually made this inventory texture super duper big, so each one of these pixels you're seeing here is actually like 8 pixels or something, and then I've pasted my logo in the background like that. So that's that. Oops, that was derpy. Let's go back into creative mode here. You didn't see anything. Nothing happened there. Anyways, let's move on. And so there's a couple textures that I'm not going to show in the video because they'd be really hard to show off, and those are the rain and the snow. I've actually made them a tiny bit less dense, made it a little bit easier to see, but it doesn't really take away from the rain and snow, so I really like that. And yeah, like I just said, I'm not going to show that in the video because you can't really tell, and because I'm in a void world, it just makes it even harder to tell. Let's move on a little bit. You can see that I've got a pumpkin in my inventory. If I put it on my head, I've changed the pumpkin blur to like a Cologne Trooper HUD. And it's not a fantastic texture. It's actually a particularly low resolution. But, I don't know, it's the best I can do right now. And I haven't really found a better one. And I think it looks decent. I don't know. It's fun to use when you're fighting Endermen or something. Alright, but let's move on here. I've changed the diamond tools and gold tools. As you can see, I've added little stones on the bottom here, which you can't really see when they're in your hand, as you can see. Even if I whack with it, you can see it a little bit. Here, oops, if you're in F5 mode, you can see it maybe a tiny bit sticking out the back of my character's hand here. But I think they look pretty nice on the diamond tools, and the gold tools I've added little rubies on them as well. And I like it the best on the pickaxe. I don't know, some of these aren't fantastic, but I like that little detail that sort of goes with the gold theme there. And then the bow, I have changed the animation. You can see that it goes red and yellow and green when I charge it up. This is really cool because it makes it really easy to see the charge level of the bow, so I can focus on my target while being able to see the charge level of my bow without having to pay too much attention to it. Like I can stare right at my cursor, focus on my cursor, focus on my target, and I can see in my peripheral vision what color the bow is, and always have it fully charged whenever I shoot, and shoot it as soon as it's fully charged, which is pretty awesome. And then I've, before I actually had a previous version where the saturation on the colors was amped all the way up and it looked really ugly, so I've toned it down a little bit so you can still see the color, but it doesn't look as in your face and gross. Alright, so let's get rid of this. And the last thing I'm going to mention is that I've changed this one water texture. Not the actual block texture, but if you stick your head in water, let's actually take the resource pack off for this demonstration. If I can actually get my head properly in the water, which I can't seem to be able to do. Okay, this will do. If I go into resource pack, if I take off this resource pack, you'll see that I've actually got a sort of water texture in front of my face. And I'm going to point out some things with the cursor. So if you can see my cursor, you can see that here there are some pixels, and some more pixels, and you can see them sort of around. If you're watching the video on mobile, you might not be able to see it, but it basically plants an image in front of your face when you're underwater. And in my resource pack, I've made that completely invisible, so there's no pixels in front of your face. It makes it a little easier to see, and it's less annoying in my opinion. So that's pretty much all the changes I've done in my resource pack, and I am really liking it. Alright, stop! I forgot the most obvious thing that you can see here, and that is the world border. I've changed the world border texture to be hexagons instead of the normal diagonal lines, and I like it a lot better. It even looks really cool in the corners, if you can see here. And I just generally like the hexagons a lot better than the diagonal lines, so I've changed them to that. But now let's get back to whatever I was talking about before. You may have noticed in my Let's Play episode, I actually had some 3D textures, which I will be adding soon, 3D ladders, 3D rails, etc. However, those will not be included in the download because the ones I'm using were not made by me. So, because I was having some issues with my exporter, my model creator, the exporting wasn't working because of my firewall or something like that. So that is why I did not make my own, and I will make my own soon. So maybe in a future version I'll include those. But like I said, that's pretty much it. So you can check down in the description if you want to download it. And please leave a comment. Tell me how much you like it, or if there's anything you would change, maybe like the tools or whatever. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Rex out.